Keisha works a side hustle every single weekend. Saturday mornings, she drives for a rideshare app from 6 a.m. until noon. Sunday afternoons, she picks up freelance graphic design gigs she found on Fiverr. Between her full-time marketing job and her weekend grind, she clocks roughly 55 hours of work every week. She earns about $700 extra a month from the hustle. After taxes, gas, and the occasional parking ticket, she keeps maybe $480. Keisha is exhausted. She hasn't had a free weekend in 7 months. Her sleep is wrecked. Her social life consists entirely of group chats she barely responds to. She told me last month that she sometimes cries in her car between rides because she's so tired. Her coworker Andre doesn't have a side hustle. He goes home at 5, plays basketball on Saturdays, cooks dinner most nights, reads before bed. From the outside, Andre looks like he's doing less than Keisha, a lot less. But Andre does 50 tiny things with his money that Keisha doesn't. He rounds up every purchase to the nearest dollar and sweeps the difference into an investment account. He negotiates his car insurance every 6 months. He batch cooks Sunday dinners that cover his lunches through Wednesday. He checks his subscriptions on the first of every month and cancels anything he hasn't used in 30 days. Andre has $91,000 invested. Keisha has $14,000. Same salary, same city, same age. One of them is building wealth through exhaustion. The other is building it through micro habits that take less energy than brushing his teeth. This is the lie nobody in the hustle culture conversation wants to admit. The average American side hustler earns about $530 a month, according to recent data. The median, which is more telling, is just $200. Meanwhile, 67% of side hustlers report experiencing burnout, 2/3. And according to a Penny Hoarder 2026 survey, 75% of side hustlers say inflation has increased their reliance on that extra income, meaning the hustle isn't building wealth, it's just keeping them afloat. They're running faster to stay in the same spot. What if I told you that 50 boring, tiny, completely unsexy habits could generate more long-term wealth than any side hustle ever will, without costing you a single weekend, without burning you out, and without requiring any special skill beyond paying attention? That's this video. 50 micro habits. Each one takes less than 5 minutes. Most of them take less than 1. They don't require motivation. They don't require talent. They just require you to do them. And over 10, 20, 30 years, they will quietly separate you from everyone else. Let's get into it. Automate your investing on the day after payday so the money leaves before you see it. This single habit is responsible for more millionaires than any stock pick, any real estate deal, or any side hustle in history. The Vanguard 2025 How America Saves report found that 401k participants who use automatic escalation, where contributions increase by 1% each year, reach an average savings rate nearly double those who don't. Automation removes the decision. When the decision is removed, consistency becomes inevitable. Increase your retirement contribution by 1% every January. You will never feel 1% missing from your paycheck. Your brain can't detect it, but that 1%, compounded over a career, can add more than $100,000 to your retirement balance. Round up every debit card purchase to the nearest dollar and invest the spare change. Apps do this automatically now. 50 cents here, 37 cents there. It sounds laughable until you realize the average person makes roughly 70 transactions a month. At an average roundup of 50 cents, that's $35 a month invested without effort. Over 20 years at 8% returns, that pocket change becomes roughly $21,000. Keep your savings in a high-yield savings account instead of a traditional one. Right now, in 2026, the best high-yield accounts are paying around 4% APY. The national average on a regular savings account is 0.38%. On $10,000, that's the difference between earning $400 a year and earning $38. Same money, same effort, different account. That's it. Set your credit card to autopay the full balance every month. This eliminates the possibility of paying interest. The average American carries about $6,500 in credit card debt at 22.4% APR. Auto pay in full means that number stays at zero for you forever. Check your bank statement for 5 minutes on the first of every month. Just scan it. Look for charges you don't recognize. Look for subscriptions you forgot about. A 2026 study found that 74% of Americans underestimate their subscription spending by more than $100 a month. 5 minutes of looking catches what 12 months of ignoring costs you over $1,200 a year. Use the 24-hour rule on any purchase over $50. See something you want? Wait 1 day. If you still want it tomorrow, buy it. If you forgot about it, you just saved $50 without willpower, without deprivation, without any sacrifice whatsoever. Impulse spending averages $282 a month for Americans. This one rule cuts into that significantly. Pack your lunch 2 extra days per week. That's it. Not every day. 2 extra days. The average lunch bought out costs between $12 and $18. A packed lunch costs roughly $3. 2 extra packed lunches saves about $20 a week, which is over $1,000 a year. Invest that at 8% for 25 years, and it becomes roughly $79,000 from sandwiches. But let me pause here because I want to address what I know some of you are thinking. These amounts are tiny, a few dollars here, a few dollars there. How does this build more wealth than a side hustle? Here's the answer, and it's mathematical. A side hustle puts money in your pocket today, but it doesn't compound. When Keisha earns $480 from her weekend hustle, she spends it. It covers groceries, gas, and maybe a dinner out. It's consumed, gone. It generated zero future value. When Andre invests $350 a month through his collection of micro habits, that money goes to work. At 8% over 20 years, his $350 a month becomes roughly $207,000. Over 30 years, it becomes roughly $528,000. The side hustle income gets spent. The micro habit savings get invested. One is linear. The other is exponential. The boring option wins every single time because compound interest only works on money you actually keep. Brew coffee at home 4 days a week and buy it out once as a treat. A $6 coffee 5 days a week is $1,560 a year. Brew 4, buy 1, and you spend $312 plus maybe $40 in beans per month. You save over $700 a year while still enjoying your Friday latte. This is not financial advice, by the way. It's just arithmetic. Always eat something before you go grocery shopping. Studies consistently show that hungry shoppers spend 20 to 30% more than those who eat beforehand. On a weekly $100 grocery run, that's $20 to $30 of food you didn't need, didn't plan for, and will probably throw away. Use a grocery list and stick to it. Every item not on the list doesn't go in the cart. This eliminates impulse additions. The average American household wastes about 30% of the food it buys, according to USDA estimates. A list isn't just a shopping tool, it's a waste reduction tool. Buy generic brands for medications, cleaning products, and pantry staples. The FDA requires generic drugs to contain the same active ingredients as name brands. Same compound, same dose, same effect. 40 to 60% cheaper. Across a year of household supplies, this saves roughly $1,300. Cancel one subscription you haven't used in the last 30 days. Do this check monthly. Most people add about 2.5 new subscriptions per year and only cancel about 1. The drift is always upward. A monthly audit reverses the drift. Unsubscribe from marketing emails the moment they arrive. Every promotional email is a temptation engineered by a team of psychologists and data scientists to make you spend money you weren't planning to spend. Remove the trigger, and you remove the behavior. Delete shopping apps from your phone. Keep them on your laptop if you need them. The friction of opening a laptop, logging in, and navigating to a website is enough to prevent roughly 40% of impulse purchases. Your phone makes spending frictionless. Friction is your friend. Wait for sales on things you were already going to buy. This sounds obvious, but most people do the opposite. They see a sale and decide to buy. The micro habit is to write down what you actually need and then wait for that specific item to go on sale. The difference between "I need new running shoes" and "I'll wait for a deal" and "oh wow, running shoes are 30% off" is the difference between saving money and spending money you wouldn't have spent. Use the library instead of buying books. The average American who reads regularly spends about $250 to $400 a year on books. Your local library has the same books for free. It also has audiobooks, ebooks, movies, and magazines. The richest free resource in your zip code is sitting there, funded by your taxes, and most people act like it doesn't exist. Negotiate your internet bill every 12 months. Call your provider, tell them you're considering switching, and ask what they can do for you. Consumer Reports found that 70% of people who do this receive a discount. The average savings is over $100 per year. 2 minutes of discomfort once a year. That's the entire cost. Negotiate your car insurance every 6 months. Get competing quotes. Call your current provider with the lowest quote. They'll either match it or beat it. Andre does this religiously and has shaved about $400 a year off his premium since he started. Negotiate your credit card APR. Call the number on the back, ask for a lower rate, and cite your payment history. If they say no, ask to speak with the retention department. This works more often than people think and can save hundreds in interest if you ever carry a balance. Now, I want you to notice something about the last few habits. Negotiating doesn't cost anything. It costs uncomfortable phone calls. Every dollar you save through negotiation is a dollar you didn't have to earn. It's not taxed like income. There's no employer taking a cut. There's no gas expense or wear on your car. A dollar saved through a micro habit is worth more than a dollar earned through a side hustle because it arrives in your account with zero overhead. Set a specific no-spend day once a week. Pick a day where you buy absolutely nothing. No coffee, no Amazon, no grocery run, nothing. This does two things. It shows you how many spending decisions you make on autopilot, and it saves somewhere between $20 and $50 per occurrence. Over a year, that's $1,000 to $2,600. Review every recurring bill for price increases at least twice a year. Streaming services raise prices quietly. Gym memberships adjust upward. Insurance premiums creep. If you don't audit these increases, they stack. A $3 increase on 4 different services is $144 a year that nobody asked your permission for. Pay your bills on time, every time. No exceptions. Late fees average $25 to $50 per occurrence. Credit card late fees can hit up to $40. Beyond the fee itself, late payments damage your credit score, which raises your interest rates on everything from car loans to mortgages. This one habit protects you from thousands of dollars in hidden costs over a lifetime. Track every dollar you spend for at least 1 month per quarter. You don't need to budget forever, but 1 month of tracking 4 times a year keeps your spending awareness sharp. People who track consistently save 15 to 20% more than people who don't, because tracking makes invisible spending visible. Use cash for discretionary spending categories. Withdraw a set amount for dining out, entertainment, and personal spending. When the cash is gone, you're done. Physical money triggers the brain's pain of paying response far more than swiping a card. Behavioral research consistently shows people spend 12 to 18% less when using cash. Set a spending cap on gifts. Tell friends and family you're keeping gifts under $30 this year. Most people will be relieved because they were stressed about gift spending too. The average American spends nearly $1,000 on holiday gifts alone. A $30 cap saves hundreds without damaging a single relationship. Buy used when the item's function matters more than its late. Appearance, furniture, cars, exercise equipment, electronics that are 1 generation old. A used item that works identically to a new one at 40% of the price is a micro habit masquerading as a purchase decision. My friend Nicole furnished her entire apartment for about $2,100 using Facebook Marketplace and thrift stores. Her coworker spent $11,000 at West Elm for the same number of rooms. Drive the speed limit. Aggressive driving, rapid acceleration, hard braking, and speeds above 65 miles per hour reduce fuel efficiency by 15 to 30%, according to the Department of Energy. On a $40 tank of gas, that's $6 to $12 wasted per fill-up. Drive calmly twice a week, and you save over $300 a year in gas alone. Maintain your car on schedule. Oil changes, tire rotations, air filter replacements. Skipping a $40 oil change can lead to a $3,000 engine repair. Maintenance isn't spending. It's insurance against catastrophic future spending. Cook one extra serving at dinner and take it for lunch the next day. This eliminates the $12 to $18 lunch purchase without requiring any extra meal prep time. You're already cooking. Make one more plate, cover it, grab it in the morning. Done. Use your employer's 401k match fully. This is free money. If your employer matches 100% of the first 3% and 50% of the next 2%, contributing 5% of a $60,000 salary gets you an extra $3,000 a year in employer contributions. Fidelity reported that 88% of 401k participants received an employer match in the fourth quarter of 2025. The ones who didn't contribute enough to capture the full match left thousands on the table. Set up a dedicated sinking fund for predictable annual expenses. Car registration, holiday gifts, insurance premiums. These aren't surprises. They happen every year. Divide the total by 12 and transfer that amount monthly into a separate savings account. When the expense hits, the money is already there. No credit card needed, no financial stress. Open a separate savings account that you name something emotional. My first house, Freedom Fund, never broke again. Behavioral research shows that people save more when accounts have emotionally labeled names. The label makes the money feel earmarked. It makes spending it feel like a betrayal of a goal rather than a neutral transaction. Let me share something about Andre that I think illustrates why these micro habits work on a level deeper than just the math. When I asked him why he doesn't feel tempted to spend more, he said something that stuck with me. He said, "I got tired of being surprised by my own bank account." That's the thing about micro habits. They eliminate financial surprise. When you track, audit, automate, and negotiate on a regular cadence, money stops being chaotic. It starts being predictable. Predictability is the foundation of wealth. Chaos is the foundation of being broke. Keisha's side hustle income is chaotic. Some weekends she earns $150. Some weekends she earns $300. It depends on surge pricing, how many rides come in, and whether she's too tired to keep driving. Her income is variable, her effort is inconsistent, and her burnout is building. Andre's micro habits are boring, automatic, and identical every single month. He doesn't need motivation. He doesn't need energy. He just needs the systems he set up 3 years ago to keep running, which they do, because systems don't get tired. Drink water at restaurants instead of ordering drinks. A soda costs $3. A cocktail costs $12 to $18. Over 50 restaurant visits a year, water saves between $150 and $900 depending on what you would have ordered. The savings fund themselves. The habit requires saying one word. Use LED light bulbs in every fixture. LED bulbs use 75% less energy than incandescent bulbs and last 25 times longer, according to the Department of Energy. Switching a household of 30 bulbs saves roughly $225 a year in electricity. Adjust your thermostat by 2 degrees. Cooler in winter, warmer in summer. The Department of Energy estimates this saves about 3% on your heating and cooling bill per degree. On a $2,000 annual energy bill, 2 degrees saves roughly $120. You won't feel the difference. Your wallet will. Unplug electronics you're not using. Phantom load, the energy drawn by devices that are off but still plugged in, costs the average American household about $165 a year, according to National Resources Defense Council data. Unplug the TV in the guest room. Unplug the coffee maker after your morning cup. Use a power strip and hit one switch. Wash your clothes in cold water. Roughly 90% of the energy your washing machine uses goes toward heating water. Cold water cleans just as well for most loads and saves about $65 a year in energy costs. It also extends the life of your clothes, which means you replace them less often. Air dry your clothes when weather permits. A dryer costs roughly 45 to 60 cents per load. If you run 5 loads a week, that's $120 to $156 a year. A clothesline costs about $15. The math speaks for itself. Price compare before every purchase over $25. Take 20 seconds to check one competing retailer. Just one. Browser extensions do this automatically now. The average savings per comparison is between 8 and 15%. On a $100 purchase, that's $8 to $15 saved in 20 seconds. Your side hustle doesn't pay that well per minute. Return things you don't need instead of letting them sit in the corner. Americans waste an estimated $53 billion a year on items they intended to return, but never did. Check your closet right now. That shirt with the tag still on? Return it. That gadget in the drawer? Return it. Past you already made the mistake. Present you doesn't have to pay for it. Use free financial tools to monitor your credit score. Credit Karma, your bank's app, your credit card issuer. A higher credit score means lower interest rates on everything. The difference between a 680 and a 760 credit score on a $300,000 mortgage is roughly $70,000 in total interest over 30 years. Monitoring your score costs nothing. Ignoring it costs a fortune. Pay your credit card bill before the statement closes, not just before the due date. This lowers your reported utilization ratio, which directly boosts your credit score. A lower utilization means better rates on future borrowing. The habit takes 30 seconds. The impact lasts years. Request a credit limit increase every 12 months, but don't increase your spending. Higher limit plus same spending equals lower utilization. Lower utilization improves your credit score. Improved credit score saves you money on every loan you'll ever take. This is a phone call. 5 minutes. Once a year. Bring your own bags to the grocery store. Several states now charge 5 to 10 cents per bag. That's 30 to 60 cents per trip, which sounds like nothing until you realize you go roughly 100 times a year. That's $30 to $60 in bag fees. More importantly, this habit reframes your identity as someone who plans ahead. Small identity shifts drive large financial behavior changes. Meal plan for just 3 dinners per week. You don't need to plan every meal. 3 dinners planned in advance eliminates 3 instances of the "I don't know what to eat, so I'll order delivery" spiral. At an average delivery cost of $42 per order, including fees and tip, that's $126 a week you're protecting. Over a month, that's $504. Over a year, more than $6,000. Buy in bulk only for items you actually use regularly. Toilet paper, rice, canned goods, cleaning supplies. Bulk buying saves 20 to 30% per unit on high-use staples. It destroys your budget when you bulk buy perishables or specialty items you only use once a month. The habit is selectivity, not volume. Here's something I want to sit with for a moment, because we're deep into this list and I want you to feel the cumulative weight of what's happening here. Any one of these habits saves you somewhere between $50 and $1,500 a year. Alone, each one is almost embarrassingly small. Together, they create a lifestyle that retains thousands of dollars annually that would otherwise evaporate into subscriptions, markups, convenience fees, interest charges, and impulse decisions. Andre doesn't have one magic habit. He has 50 ordinary ones. They run in the background of his life, like apps on a phone he never has to open. They cost him no time, no energy, no weekends. Keisha's side hustle demands all 3. She trades hours for dollars. Andre's micro habits trade awareness for dollars. Awareness doesn't get tired. Keep a money wins journal where you write down one financial win per week. Negotiated internet bill down $30. Packed lunch 4 times this week. Canceled a subscription I forgot about. This creates positive reinforcement for wealth-building behavior. Most financial content focuses on what you're doing wrong. This habit focuses on what you're doing right. Psychologically, reinforcement builds habits faster than punishment. Before buying anything online, clear your cookies and search for a coupon code. Retailers use cookies to track your interest and sometimes raise prices for repeat visitors. Clearing cookies resets your browsing profile. A quick coupon search takes 15 seconds and works roughly 30% of the time, saving an average of 10 to 20% on the purchase. 15 seconds. That's it. Set your phone to grayscale mode. Color triggers dopamine responses that drive app engagement, including shopping apps. Grayscale makes your phone boring, which reduces screen time by an average of 15 to 20% in multiple studies. Less screen time means less exposure to ads, less impulse shopping, less late-night Amazon browsing. The setting takes 10 seconds to activate and passively protects your wallet every time you pick up your phone. Sell one thing per month that you're not using. Clothes you've outgrown, kitchen gadgets collecting dust, the exercise equipment that became a clothes rack in February. Each item sold is money recovered from a past spending mistake, listed on Facebook Marketplace, Poshmark, or eBay. The habit takes 10 minutes and typically generates $50 to $100. Replace one paid entertainment activity per month with a free one. A hike instead of a movie, a board game night instead of a bar, a library audiobook instead of an Audible subscription. One swap per month saves roughly $40 to $80. Over a year, that's up to $960 redirected without reducing the amount of fun in your life by even a fraction. Use your credit card rewards intentionally. Most people earn rewards and never think strategically about redemption. Travel rewards redeemed for flights are typically worth 30 to 50% more per point than cash back. If you earn 20,000 points a year, strategic redemption can mean the difference between getting a $150 statement credit and getting a $300 flight. Same points, different awareness. Read one article about personal finance per week. Not a course, not a textbook, one article, 10 minutes. Over a year, that's 52 articles. The cumulative knowledge changes how you think about every financial decision you make. It's the lowest effort investment in your own understanding that exists, and it compounds exactly like money does, because every new concept connects to 5 previous ones, and suddenly you're seeing patterns you never noticed before. And that brings me to the last micro habit on this list. It's the one that ties every other habit together, and it's the reason Andre has $91,000 while Keisha has $14,000, despite earning less from her second income stream than Andre saves from his first one. Learn how money actually works. Spend 30 minutes a week understanding compound interest, APRs, tax-advantaged accounts, index fund basics, the difference between an asset and a liability. This isn't a side hustle. This is the foundation that makes every other habit on this list make sense. Because when you understand why automating investments matters, you don't need motivation to do it. When you understand how credit card interest compounds against you at 22%, paying the full balance stops being discipline and starts being obvious. When you understand that a 4% savings rate means 96% of your income goes to someone else, tracking your spending becomes urgent instead of optional. Financial literacy is the operating system that every micro habit runs on. Without it, these 50 habits are just a list of chores. With it, they're a wealth-building machine that operates automatically because you understand exactly what each gear does and why it matters. The side hustle economy is burning people out. A 2026 Penny Hoarder survey found that 65% of side hustlers experience burnout at least sometimes. Only 44% feel financially secure despite the extra work. They're trading weekends, sleep, and mental health for an average of $530 a month that gets spent as fast as it arrives. Andre doesn't hustle. Andre habits. He automates $350 a month into index funds. He negotiates $500 a year off his bills. He saves another $2,000 through the collection of tiny, boring, completely invisible financial behaviors that nobody posts about on Instagram because there's nothing to photograph. A guy making coffee at home and packing a sandwich isn't content. It doesn't get likes. It doesn't look like ambition. But 20 years from now, when Keisha has burned through a decade of weekends for a cumulative $70,000 that was spent as fast as it was earned, Andre will have over $500,000 in invested assets, generated almost entirely by 50 habits that each took less than 5 minutes. Wealth isn't loud. It isn't glamorous. It doesn't require a second job or a viral business idea or a productivity system that turns your entire life into a spreadsheet. Wealth is built the same way a river carves a canyon, slowly, quietly, through the relentless repetition of small forces that individually seem like nothing and collectively reshape the landscape of your entire financial life. You don't need a side hustle. You need 50 boring micro habits and the understanding of why each one matters. The first one builds your savings. The 50th one builds your mind. Start with whichever one you want. Just start.